Beyond the Wild.
Welcome to another episode of Beyond the Wild podcast. Got a special guest for you tonight. First coming to us from Utah, Jason Loftus.
Hey, Mr. Paul.
The man, the myth, the legend, the shadow, Jason Loftus.
Oh, geez, here we go. It never ends. It never ends. Well, guess what? I just got back from polar bear heaven, and I may have gotten a couple dark backgrounds. So
don't even lie to me about that.
I'm not. You can ask Julia.
Oh, great. Way to spill the beans.
Hey, listen, they don't know yet, so this is a mystery still.
So if you're on Instagram, I'm sure you've come across Julia Cook's amazing photography and just found out she's a little bit of a videographer as well, which we won't talk about very much. But yes, just coming back from... Okay, so let me just get this right out in the open. Julia and our friend Amy both just got back from Churchill. I wore my Discovery Churchill sweatshirt just for tonight.
Nice.
Because there was an opening created when Ron had to cancel. So you're very welcome.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for coming on, Julia.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, Julia, just for everybody, where are you out of?
I'm based out of Cody, Wyoming, so up out the east gate of Yellowstone.
Okay. And you're currently in Colorado, though?
Yeah, I'm down in Steamboat for Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. And you guys got back, what, a week ago? Almost a week ago?
Not quite a week ago.
Not quite a week ago, yeah.
And I just saw a report that still no sea ice.
Yeah.
Bears are still pretty well landlocked. So good for photographers, bad for the bears.
They're actually done running trips. There's no more trips. There could be some day trips, obviously, potentially with folks. But the last trip we left and the last group was coming in. So they're done now. And today is 11/25, just for reference for folks to have an idea of the fact that the ice has not formed yet in the bay. But
yeah, and the reason that they finish up with those trips is because typically the bears are gone, and they don't want to waste people's money. So respect them for that, but definitely could have gone another week this year, it looks like.
Yep. Yeah, we tried to stick around. We all were saying, hey, if the plane doesn't go, by this time of year, they only have like 2 flights a week, right? And we were going to be woefully stuck there and have to photograph polar bears for another few days, and it just didn't work out. But.
Bummer.
Yeah, right.
So, Julia, typically you're stomping around Wyoming, and I've seen you, actually the last several times I've seen you, I met you on the North Fork a few years back, but the last few times I've seen you in Colorado.
Yeah. I try to make it down here for the elk rut every year. Mm-hmm. So, September in Yellowstone can be slow, but you can always count on the action down in Rocky. So it's nice to come down for a week or two. Yeah.
But you've gotten out a ton this year. You've got, well, not just this year, but you've been out a lot lately. And images all over the place. In fact, I saw you when we first launched this idea of doing a podcast with you was when we were in Cheyenne.
Yeah.
At the Capitol. Julie had some work that's hanging in the Capitol as well. And we kind of started talking about a podcast, and 8-9 months later, I don't remember when that was, but
it's like January, I think.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I think you're right. But thanks for sticking with us and finally coming on.
Yeah, of course.
Even though I'm going to rat her out. So yesterday, Jason and I both send Julia messages, and the only one she replies to is Jason's.
To be fair, I was already on Instagram.
Yeah, I don't know. She might like me more, Ron. I don't know.
Well, I think that was made obvious.
Too funny.
Churchill buddies.
Yeah, right.
So, Julia, how did you get your start in wildlife photography?
Well, during 2020, all my college classes like went online, and I grew up outside of Yellowstone and like always loved going to the park. And so I had a bunch of free time then because all my college classes were online that I just started going to the park more and kind of picked up a camera just to like document the wildlife that I was seeing. But then it like snowballed so quickly and I got hooked. And that spring I actually went down to the Tetons on a trip with Amy Gerber looking for $3.99 because she just came out with the quads. And like that was when I was this is what I want to do. This is so cool. Yeah.
And if you look from that 2000 time frame to now, you went from 0 to 60 in about no time at all.
Yeah, I got hooked really quick.
You're in an area that provides lots of opportunities, but for you to go skill-wise as fast as you did in growing in that direction, man, you got some incredible stuff.
Thank you. That means a lot.
So you guys, we're going to touch on this since you both just got back. But Julia, these questions are primarily, directed toward you, but Jason was there at the same time. Mm-hmm. What did you think of Churchill?
It was like I had expectations, but like my expectations were like blown out of the water. Like it was so cool. Like, I mean, I can't even describe how amazing it was. Yeah.
So answer true or false. When you first fly in there and you're looking down at all the pothole lakes, and it's probably a little different landscape in the winter, but it's kind of underwhelming until you get on the ground.
It was dark when we were flying in, so it was hard to really tell. But, I mean, you could definitely, there was less snow than I thought there would be what it looked like from the plane. But once you get on the ground, it looked like more snow than what it did from the air. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Just kind of barren
long did it take before
landscape.
Yeah, it is wide open up there.
Yeah.
And when you fly up, so we've gone in the fall as well, and when you fly in September, you can tell just how open it is.
Oh.
So how long were you guys there? Obviously, you couldn't photograph the first day because it was after dark.
Yeah.
Daylight, how short were the days while you guys were there?
Sunset 3:30-ish? Sunrise at 8 maybe?
Yeah, we were probably shooting. They'd pick us up at 7:30 to go out, and then it was too dark to shoot. It was too dark to shoot, but we would try to get where we could shoot by shooting light, so yeah. And when we were back, I think it was 4:15 at the latest. A couple times we were out till about 4:30, but it was just more because we were having a good experience, good encounter. So put the cameras down and enjoy it, So
yeah.
So in the wintertime up there, much, much shorter days. So what did you guys do to occupy your evenings? Did you go have trivia night with Drew?
Oh, I didn't know that was an option. Or I would have done trivia night with Drew.
Drew's the trivia master of Churchill.
Every night, we'd get back, and I'd immediately run to my computer and throw my images up to look at. Yeah. I was impatient, couldn't wait.
You have time to do that in the summer. It's between Aurora and you just want to go to bed.
Yeah.
But
we didn't get a chance at Aurora this time around. We were hoping that that the one night that it was really firing and everybody down here in the States was getting stuff, clear down to Texas and Florida and all over the place. We didn't see anything, right? So
that night, Amy and I were in Winnipeg. And
really?
We drove to Winnipeg, so we had my car, and we're we don't know where we're going, but we're just gonna head out of town. So we end up on some dirt road that middle of nowhere, and stopped and could see the Aurora through my sunroof. It was so cool. That made the drive through North Dakota and everything worth it.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So you guys could see it almost all the way up. I mean, while you were going up, pretty much.
We were in Winnipeg the night that the big storm happened, where everyone was seeing it across the U.S.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Huh.
Yeah, that first night there was 2 or 3 nights in a row, right? But the first night in Churchill, it actually was going off, and just the weather didn't cooperate, right? And then the second night, it was like, if the weather breaks at all, and it just never did. So, but that's cool. You guys got to see it,
Yeah, it was really cool.
Drive. Yeah.
Well,
they got a pretty good setup up there. You know what I mean? Like when we'd get back to the room, we'd get time to, like Julia said, go and download images and take a break, grab a drink, a snack, whatever, hang out at the Airbnb there with our hosts, which were amazing as well. And then, well, your guys' host wasn't there when you got home, huh? I mean,
sometimes he was.
Okay, no, that's right. That would make sense. Yeah. Anyways, but we would just hang out until they'd come pick us up for dinner, and then we'd all go out to dinner together, the 3 groups. So it was kind of fun to have a bigger group to get to know each other a little better in that. And, go have dinner somewhere, and then by the time you got back, you still had time. It was kind of weird, like you referring to, Ron, having so much time to do stuff in the evenings and to look at images and to edit an image and to call the family and to whatever. You just it felt like you had a good amount of time. It was a good balance, because you're out all day and you're doing sack lunches on the run, while you're running and gunning, basically. But I thought it was the way they have it set up is really, they've put a lot of thought into it, and it's really, really slick.
Yeah.
So what was your highlight, Julia?
Oh God, I don't know. I mean, it was really cool. It's funny when people come to Yellowstone that I take on tours, and I'm trying to describe where a grizzly bear is, and they're like, I don't see it, and I always end up saying look closer than what you think you should be looking. And the first polar bears we saw, I'm like, I don't see them. Where are they? And then I'm like, oh, I should look closer than what I am looking. And sure enough, they were much closer than I thought they would be. And it was 2 males standing up sparring, which was really cool to have that be the first polar bears to see. Yeah. It was a little far for good shots, but to see it was that was really cool. But I think that third day, I mean, that was the best. And we had that mom and cub in beautiful sunlight colors, sunset. It was so cool.
I think you recently posted one of those, right?
Yeah.
Mom and cub face on. Yeah.
Yeah. It was amazing.
Yeah, we literally just had encounter after encounter.
That day was almost nonstop, from one to the next.
Yeah, it was pretty incredible.
Yeah.
So bear density, when you're there in September, there's 7, 8 on a good day, maybe 10 bears visible around the area, and that's including around the bay, from Zodiacs. If you were out on the Zodiacs, what would you guys say the bear numbers were like?
Well, we can tell you.
Teens, 20s.
Yeah, we had Russ with us, right? And he was counting all of it.
Of course he was.
Yes. So I could give you the day-by-day rundown if you want, but we were basically, I think, and this is just rough, we saw a total of 91 bears in 5 days. That some of those were repeats day to day, but those numbers did not include any repeats within a day. So the first day we saw 16, the next day we saw 18, the third day we saw 24.
I lost count that day. I'm 20 something. I don't know.
It was incredible. And none of us were keeping track, honestly. Russ is just always keeping track, and it's, in the back of his head. Awesome. And, so the fact that we just asked him and he said, yep, I got it all logged. I'll send you guys a text, blah, blah, blah. And then we saw 18 and 16 or something like that. But the last day was the big one for me. We had a really cool encounter with a giant boar.
Too.
It was just a crazy encounter. Such a big bear. I mean, the guys are when the guides are photographing and it's something special going on, and then Dave Sanford posted a photo of his hand next to the bear's paw, and just the size of that thing they were figuring probably around 1,100 pound boar. And they haven't seen a bear like that in the area for quite some time, apparently. That big, I mean, they get big bears there, obviously, but they were thinking maybe this was one of the old bears that used to hang out with the dogs. I can't remember the guy's name now.
Oh, yeah.
Ladoon. Yeah.
Ladoon, that's right. Yeah. So, but it could have been a Ladoon bear, supposedly talking to, Drew and them. But anyways, regardless, it's always incredible to see an animal like that. just gives you an idea of like, we thought we'd been seeing some big bears, and we probably had been. Then you see that bear, and it's like, oh, okay, there's levels.
That's a big
okay. Bear. Yeah. And he just had that attitude. Like, he wasn't aggressive or anything, but he just had that confidence, that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Anyways, that was my favorite encounter. But.
Yeah, what a way to end the trip, too. Like.
Oh, yeah, that was the last night, last hour. That's how we basically ended it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
They do that. I think they do that on purpose up there, to be honest with you.
It felt like that because Alex and Drew went out looking for bears, and then they told us about this bear and told us that we need to start heading that direction, and they lined us up, and I'm not joking. It was almost like it was scripted. We all got out and lined up.
Gotten out of the van, and it was like, here he comes.
I know. It was like literally like Drew's like, get out, get out, get out, and anyways, yeah. As soon as we got out, I was like, oh, there he is. Yeah, anyways. It was an incredible experience, the overall thing. And those guys know what they're doing, and the safety was never an issue. And, it was just a really, really incredible experience. So.
Nice. All right, Julia.
I need to shut up. Julie, it's about you. Sorry.
No, I agree with everything you said. The guides, I mean, they're amazing. Like, just the being able to, like, get you in the place, like, the perfect place. Because, like, that's what I always try to do, like, myself in Yellowstone, of, like, look where the bear's going and position yourself there. But with all the, like, intricate network of all the roads and everything, and they get you, like, right where the bear's going to go. And, like, I don't think they were wrong once. It was great. No. And their standpoint on ethics, too. Big respect for that.
Yeah. They've got it pretty well dialed in, and that group is big on putting the bear first. And
yeah.
They always did, Ron, and I mean, just because I'd never done the winter, right? We did the spring and or the fall, sorry. And like to Julia's point, I just want to stress it. Like for people that are looking to go on a trip like this, I mean, there's other people that do these trips and that's and there's other good operators there for sure. There's no question. But these guys were never, like she said, they were never wrong. Like there was times we were driving away from a bear, and I'm like, what are we doing? Like seriously, like the Jaguar experience, right, Ron? I was telling you about. It's the same kind of thing. Like, where do we go? Within like the first half day, you like, oh, okay, I see. These guys they're gonna sacrifice the leapfrogging stuff to go down and get way in front of them, and give us plenty of time with that head-on approach that we all want, And every time it was money. Like they knew exactly where to go, and it's just because they're experienced in time and they know where the bears go, and I mean all that, right? But you can't do that when you're on your own, honestly.
Yeah.
And, there was some rental vehicles that were getting stuck in the snow, and, we saw all
kinds of getting stuck in the snow.
Yeah, right. None of our drivers may have got stuck. I don't know. But got the Golden Shovel Award, right? So
Golden Shovel, baby.
But anyway, so I think it's important to just stress how good those guys are about all that. And that again, having the right guide makes a huge difference in the quality of images that you get, and the quality of the encounters you get. So
awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Now, Julia, I'm going to bring it back to Wyoming a little bit.
Sounds good.
So 2000, you get started, and you've photographed with
2020 when I got started.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He's promoting you, Julian.
Not 2000. That's probably when you were born. 2020, you get started, and you are in an area where there's a lot of good wildlife photographers. So did you have an opportunity to mentor with anybody, or was it you just kind of learn on the fly?
It wasn't really ever like a like mentorship or anything, but I like went on trips in high school with Amy Gerber because she was my high school biology teacher, and she'd take like marine biology trips. So I went to Costa Rica and did some field work with her, and then Andros Island in the Bahamas. And so we've always been, friends, and I went with her to the Tetons, and I'd, always see her out in Yellowstone. So just like hanging out with her and it was more so like watching how people get photos and the whole like positioning and moving around and, getting in front of the bear instead of like right along the side of them to get those photos. So I think a lot of that was just from like watching other photographers. Yeah.
And now, did I pick up your guiding in Yellowstone now?
I am, yeah. I partnered with Skyline Guest Ranch. They're up like outside of Cook City. And so they do a bunch of like pack trips and fly fishing trips, and they wanted to expand into doing more stuff in Yellowstone. So I've been guiding like day trips with them, and then I'm doing a winter wildlife photography workshop with them in February. And then another one in the spring, I think in June sometime.
So they just have vans, or how are they getting people around?
We have Suburbans, which is nice. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then in February, we'll take like a snowcat from their ranch, like the 3 miles back to Cook City, and transfer to Suburbans from there.
Oh, nice.
You know, they don't plow that road, so it's like completely like snow locked, basically. Yeah.
Well, that'll be a nice little add-on for people to get a little bit of snowcat experience. And, and then there's a lot of wildlife around Cook City as well.
Yeah, with foxes and
a lot of fox.
Pine martens, hopefully.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, that'll be a great trip.
Yeah, I'm excited.
And are you doing anything in the summertime then?
I'm just doing like day trips in the summer.
Just the day trippers? Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. So what is you've had a lot, obviously. What's your favorite ever outdoor experience?
Oh, I don't know. I mean,
no,
even before
that's not an acceptable answer.
Even before I picked up a camera, like, I mean, I'd go fishing on Yellowstone Lake with my dad and camping, and it's like I always grew up going to Yellowstone, but I mean, there's those so many memorable. Yeah,
doesn't have to be with a camera in hand.
Yeah, recently, probably last summer, I went across Yellowstone Lake with my dad, and we camped like on the other side in the backcountry for a night, and we could hear like elk bugling when we were going to sleep, and that was a really cool experience. And I saw a wolverine a couple years ago. That's definitely up there in like top wildlife moments.
Hold up.
Yeah, we'll rewind.
I got a lot.
In Yellowstone?
Yeah, at like noon in late May, like the complete. I mean, when you don't expect to see something like that in the middle of the day. Yeah, it ran across the road in front of me, and that was like I didn't get any shots because it was so fast. But I wish I had a dash cam to like have that dash cam picture. But it was really cool.
So I've seen numbers, and basically it's like it's like a mark and release type of thing, just by sightings, and you're basically, most people are on just a big figure 8 and a few little finger roads that go to the gates. And that's the only access in Yellowstone, and just the viewings that have happened with inside of the road. The population of wolverines is, I mean, I don't want to say exploded, but it's not an anomaly anymore. It's happening on a fairly regular basis.
Yeah. I mean, it was really cool. So I hope I see another one and like get my camera on it at least.
Photographable opportunity for sure.
Yeah. But just to see one was, I mean, it was crazy. It was really cool.
I mean, to see a mountain lion in Yellowstone is
I've still never gotten a mountain lion in Yellowstone, so hopefully that's next.
We got one. It was way off in the distance, but Jason and I and a group were up there and got one. Oh, it was up around Mammoth.
Okay.
So, but it was, I mean, 3 miles away?
Yeah,
it counts. It still counts.
It counts.
Right. Yeah. It does count, but it's hard to see through a spot and scope kind of a situation, But you could tell it was a mountain lion for sure. But
that's so cool.
Yeah. So. Yeah, they're around. The elusive ones are fun though, and to hear that you've actually had a sighting. And I wonder, Ron. I mean, we don't need to look it up right now, but I have to do some digging now because I mean the sightings are going up that much, like you're saying. And to your point, you're only seeing them from the road. Most people are only going to be seeing them from the road, and the park's so big that maybe there is, maybe explosion isn't the right word, but to say that maybe they're recovering in that area could
I mean, like if I had been like, I think of this all the time. Like if I'd been like 5 to 10 seconds, like slower or faster, like I would have completely missed it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Timing, so much timing, right? And,
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, at least you got to see it. That's cool. I mean, all of us want photos of those stinking things, but
yeah, they're so cool.
They are cool. But
yeah, the thing that's exciting is I always expected to see one, in Alaska.
Yeah,
because you're going around that great big giant country and glassing miles and miles and miles. And so I thought at some point I'm going to be able to see a wolverine, even if it's, 2-3 miles away. But now knowing that there's a real possibility, and even, like in the Wind River Range, that's primarily where the Game and Fish, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, Forest Service, they're doing a lot of studies out there. But the Owl Creek Range, like between Cody and Thermopolis, in kind of north central Wyoming, the Owl Creek Range, there's a lot of wolverines up there as well. So on the reservation, they're doing a lot of research and documenting multiple wolverines in different drainages. So it's a very real possibility. And they're kind of like, for me, the most elusive Wyoming wildlife. I think number one is a wolverine, number two is a fisher, and I've seen a fisher. So at some point, I would love to see a wolverine in the wilds of Wyoming for sure. It'd be a bonus to be able to get it on, capture an image. But like you say, just seeing them, that's exciting. Sorry, we kind of stopped you there, got hung up on that for a minute.
No. I'm happy to talk about wolverines.
So what's your primary focus? What's your favorite species?
I love grizzly bears.
A lot. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That would have been my guess, but...
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what it is about them, but I definitely photograph grizzlies like more often than wolves and see them more often than wolves, or even like something like a fox, which seems crazy, but I love them. I think they're so cool.
No.
Yeah.
How old were you when you had your first grizzly bear encounter?
This is my question I always ask people is like, tell me about like the first time you saw a grizzly bear. Cause like, I don't ever remember seeing a grizzly bear for the first time. Cause like we'd go to Yellowstone and we would just see them. Like it was never like a big moment. Like it was just so normal. It's like, I don't have like a cool story to tell about that, but I do now have a story about first seeing polar bears. So at least I can use that from now on.
Nice. What's your favorite grizzly bear encounter then?
I don't know that either.
There's so many. Spoiled, rotten, and
I know.
saw so many grizzly bears you can't even remember.
Yeah.
The first like memorable one that I remember as like a kid was kind of out like by Indian Pond, like Pelican Bridge area in sagebrush, and there was a sow with twins, and they were coy, and they'd stand up over, so you could see them over the sagebrush, and then they'd drop down, and you wouldn't be able to see where they were, and so that was like the first one as a kid that I remember like really vividly. But yeah, it was just something normal. Yeah.
I was when 399 had the quads. I got a video of them out in the sagebrush, and the heat haze is terrible. They were ways out there, but they were like whack-a-mole. One would pop up over here, and that one would go down. Another one popped up over to the side, and it was just kind of a funny little sequence. And
yeah,
that's one of my favorite grizzly bear memories for sure.
Yeah.
I didn't see a grizzly bear until I worked for the Game and Fish Department, and then we saw. Usually, by the time we got there, they were tranquilized and they were working them and
that's crazy.
Collaring and tattooing and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then it was while I was working for them up in Cody. We drove up the North Fork with my parents and saw a couple cubs that had just been kicked off, and so they were probably 3, 3.5.
Yeah.
And they were just feeding, and man. It was just amazing. There was only like 3 vehicles there, and I was the only one with the camera out. So it was kind of nice. And it was just super quiet and still, and it was a good opportunity to see them like that. But now when you guys went across Yellowstone Lake, did you guys run into any bears over there?
We didn't, no, thank goodness. I mean, I've never had to run in like in the backcountry or hiking or anything with grizzlies, but I sort of like believe that like, I want to stay in Cody and keep doing what I do. So part of me is like, it's only a matter of time before like I at least see one on a trail. So I always, remember that in the back of my head and try to, do everything I can to prevent that from happening.
I'm assuming you always have bear spray with you and all that.
Oh yeah.
Normal stuff, right? Yeah.
Yep. Always bear spray, yelling, whistling, all that. Yeah.
That's why what you need to do is go up unprepared, and then you'll have all kinds of encounters.
I should know this off the top of your head without looking at your account, but have you done Katmai?
Yeah, I was there 2022, I think.
22, okay.
Yeah. I got a grant from the University of Wyoming for a photojournalism project. So I was doing a project comparing human-bear interactions between in Yellowstone and Alaska. So I went up and photographed in Katmai and a couple other places in Alaska.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Did you end up writing a paper on all that and everything?
It was just I did a presentation at the university and like a little exhibit. Yeah.
Gotcha. Huh, that's cool. I'd be curious to hear what we don't not right this minute, but maybe you can just summarize for us what your what the interesting things you found about that. That's kind of interesting, right? I think I can maybe guess what some of the differences were, but I'd like, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest difference is just their access to salmon and food source. So, the Katmai bears walk right past you and they don't even care. And that would be a horrible situation in Yellowstone because our bears are so much more aggressive. Right. So photographing people standing in the river fishing next to a brown bear that's fishing, that was so cool.
Yeah.
And at first kind of jarring for me, having grown up in grizzly country.
Right.
You could do that. Yeah, you could do that in Yellowstone, but you only get one opportunity.
Right. You better make it good.
They're smaller, but they're crankier.
Yeah, that's true.
Even then, though, most of the time, right? They're not out to get us most of the time.
No, I've never had any situation where I've felt afraid watching bears or
right.
Especially knowing their body language and I mean, people always say they're unpredictable, and they're only unpredictable when you're unpredictable.
That's a good point. You or someone else.
Yeah.
But that's a good point. When you don't pay attention and you don't give them the respect that they deserve, they can be.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, and we talked about this before, but you already alluded to it. But this is true with the polar bears too, right? On our polar bear trip, Drew wasn't as engaged with our group as he was the one Ron and I went a couple years ago. But I do remember very vividly Drew saying something about I trust brown bears, I trust grizzlies within certain limits. I do not trust polar bears. Mm-hmm. Right. And I think it's knowing the animal you're with and knowing their body language and their behaviors and that. And you could see the way the guides reacted when their posture changed or their direction changed or you could see, and it's fun to watch that and watch the behavior and think, oh, that's not normal. And then the guides react and say, oh, okay, yeah, I was picking up that cue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
I asked about the yawning because I saw so many individuals yawning. So I was like, what's that about? And, I asked if they do the jaw popping like the grizzlies do, and not so much.
What'd they say? Not so much on that. Yeah.
Yeah. But
they say the yawn's a stress response.
It's making me stress and also just look at me, showing off and being assertive and dominant. Yeah, just the visual cue of their canines.
Right? It was more the younger males or the males.
Younger males, yeah.
Yawning a lot, yeah. But,
yeah.
Yeah, it's a good point. Huh. Yeah, all that stuff's very intriguing to me. Just the behaviors and that. That's part of why I love doing what we get to do so much. You never know what you're going to see, and seeing and witnessing those behaviors in the wild is really, really interesting. But
what's funny or interesting to me when you're talking about bear behavior in particular, having photographed all three of the North American species, we all have now. Black bears are the least aggressive, but they're also the least subtle.
Right.
Grizzly bears, they're not necessarily incredibly subtle with their behavior, but polar bears, if you don't catch it on film, most of the time you don't see it, unless the guides tell you when they're doing it, but they do that little side eye where they're looking to the right and their eyes are over at you, and that's when they're kind of sizing you up and sizing up their opportunity, and they do that a lot.
Yeah,
but it's so subtle that you really don't necessarily see it happening until you catch it later and you see them doing it on film. But
right. Yeah, we had that happen multiple times. We actually had one encounter on. Julie, I can't remember if you guys were with us on this one or not with the van, but we had one younger boar who was circling the van, like literally circled us like twice.
Oh.
And it wasn't like aggressive or anything, but he was definitely sizing us up and getting the wind and curious and all those things. And that's one thing that was interesting too, I found with those polar bears, is if you went down a ways and got, in front of them, they would almost come to you because they're curious. Mm-hmm. Almost, you didn't have to like worry too much about being in the right spot. You would like kind of pick the spot you want to be in, and then they would generally come to you because they're curious, So that was an interesting behavior too.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure most of those bears, almost everyone we saw was tagged, and that was a cool thing too, right? The first night we went to listen to a presentation from a gal that was working on a project up there at the what do you call that place? The Polar Bear Institute or
Northern Study Center.
Yeah.
Something
Anyways,
like that.
Out at the out at the missile range.
No, at the
like
place,
big blue building.
Yeah, where they do the cafeteria and.
Gotcha.
I can't remember what it's but it's a research area.
Yeah, that's out at the old missile range.
The old missile range.
Okay.
Yep.
But anyways, that was really cool. A gal was giving a presentation to us about the project she was working on and explaining to us how we could help be, citizen science or photography scientists, citizen scientists, whatever you want to call it, with photos of the bears and that, and how they've been using like whisker patterns they're figuring out is a really good way to identify the bears. And so
that was so interesting to me.
Really interesting. Yeah, I was really cool. That's the way we started the trip that night. Was went to dinner, then we went and listened to that presentation, and anyways, it was really cool to see that we could do that. And then they gave us a link and stuff that we could submit photos to, and the more photos they get, they just continue to build this database to help identify bears and stuff. But that was a cool little add-on. But I didn't realize whisker patterns were that much of an indicator, to be able to identify them that distinctly. But
because I knew about like print patterns on like a leopard or cheetahs and like the fins on whale sharks, like all those different ways that you can identify. But I'd never heard of whisker patterns on polar bears. Like
right.
And then they have that whole database that they like run the photos through that like pick up on the pattern and then like cross-reference it with like every other photo that they have to identify bears. Yep. Like that's so cool.
Yeah, the software they have that somebody designed and wrote to map the pattern and then to compare, like Julia's referring to, But yeah, really interesting.
That's an acceptable use of AI.
Yeah,
I would agree. There's places where AI actually can be very valuable, and that's one of them for sure. But don't want to get me going on that rant right now. I'm about tired of seeing AI photos and videos online.
Me too.
I have a stomach full of it.
Videos. If I see one more animal jumping through somebody's bedroom window, I'm going to just go absolutely
crazy.
Or on a trampoline.
Right.
There was like 3 weeks of that and 3 weeks of them jumping through the windows, and it's incredibly annoying. And we knew it was coming, but
right, we did. But I don't think we knew it was coming this quick. And people were out there literally arguing about. I mean, people are doing it on purpose now. They're rage baiting people. They're posting videos they know aren't true, but are close enough that most people will believe it. And then people are arguing about whether they're true or not in the comments. It's just like, holy cow, people. I mean, just let it go. Who cares? And you're never going to, nobody's going to win this fight, quote unquote. Anyways, it's just insane to me. But it's working for the algorithm, right? It's getting them the likes and the comments and the interactions. So
yeah,
it's the world we live in.
Yeah.
So, Julie, what's the next project that you can talk about?
I'm doing that photo workshop at the Skyline Guest Ranch in February. Mm-hmm. I think we might have one space open if anyone's interested. And we'll just do, I think, like 5 days in Lamar and going up photographing bighorn sheep on the old park road and seeing what we can find up there. And after that, just waiting for spring.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're not a winter photographer?
I mean, I get out on the North Fork. I try to get out like once or twice a week, but nowhere near to the extent as often as I am like in the spring. So.
Yeah.
And I mean, the North Fork's great. Like, get river otters and sheep and pygmy owls and stuff like that keeps me busy in the winter.
You and Amy get pygmy owls. I get pygmy owl stories. That's what I get.
I had my first one last winter, so I was like, they do exist out here.
Right.
But I mean, she has such great luck with them.
Yeah, she does. And she puts in the time, though, like you said earlier.
Yeah, she does.
But so they're
cool critters. Sorry.
Yeah. We'll talk about where we can find you and where people can get to that last spot on your tour. But project-wise, so are you still working? Well, you were volunteering at the museum.
I still do that, yeah.
You're still doing that?
Yep. So I do that usually every Tuesday, kind of less often in the summer when I'm busy out photographing and guiding tours. But I go in and basically just do like specimen prep on the animals that come into the Draper. And they're all like victims of human wildlife conflict. So like either birds that like have been hit by a car or like hit a window. We sometimes get like the bears that Game and Fish have to euthanize for like either getting into cattle, livestock, or, food. And so that's always hard. Like, coming in and there's just like a frozen grizzly head like on the lab table. But I try to look at it as the way as like, if they didn't send it to us, it would have just gone to the landfill. And we clean them and save the skulls in our archives and use that like for any future research and to educate people about the human wildlife conflicts too. So some good can come from it.
Yeah, there's a lot of education that takes place with unfortunate situations.
Yeah.
But so I was going to talk to you about, so Jason, I got mad at Julia before I really knew her.
Oh, what the heck? That's messed up.
So listen to this.
Oh boy, I can't wait to hear how this.
Yeah. So Patrick Owen is a friend of ours. He's editor for Wyoming Wildlife Magazine. Great guy. Patrick. Well, actually, maybe that's not fair because I was mad at Patrick too. But Julia gets to go out on this research project and photograph black-footed ferrets. And I guess it's fair because I grew up close to the area where they were located, back in the 80s. Julia grew up closer to the area, but just not during the 80s. But tell me about that experience and going out and photographing those ferrets. So were they doing a release project or were you just monitoring?
No, we went out to do a release project. So I went with Corey and Amy, so the curator and assistant curator of the Draper and Cody, who I work with. And some guy drove up with ferrets in like little cat carriers from their like breeding facility, and we went out to release them. And we had 3 that we were releasing, so we each got to release one. And Corey opened the like little door on the kennel of the first one, and I'm like all lined up, like ready to photograph it. And it just like absolutely flies out of the kennel. And I'm like, there is absolutely no way I'm going to get any photos of these because they're just going to fly out so fast. And so then the next one that we released, like it stood there and it posed and like it was really cool. And then the one that I got to release like went into the hole and then like came and like doubled back and like sat in the hole just kind of like looking at me.
That's perfect.
Like maybe 30 seconds. So I got some nice like portrait photos of that too. And I mean, that was so cool just to be able to photograph it, but then to be able to like be involved in that process of releasing these ferrets back out on the area where they were thought to be extinct. So it was really cool.
Yeah, it was. So was that up in that area?
Yeah, it was on the Pitchfork Ranch outside of Meeteetse.
Oh, it was? Okay.
Yeah, which is where I know you know of, like the dog found the one and brought it in and they were like, what is this? And determined that it was a black-footed ferret after thinking that they were extinct. So really cool, like full circle conservation moment.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So the dog, sorry, go ahead, Ron.
No.
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get clear in my head. I think that's really cool. The dog found one and they realized that there was a population there. And then so they tried to add some more just to help try to
No,
they went out and trapped them.
They trapped them. They were all in captivity. It was all a captive breeding program because there were so few of them. They literally thought the species was extinct.
Right.
And for a long time. And when the dog came back with the one, and they went out and figured out where it was at, and it was on a ranch near Matitsi. And yep.
But if he was out there, or if it was out there, it had to be others, obviously.
There were, yep. So they trapped.
The release. I'm trying to make the connection with the release efforts.
The release efforts are like after the fact. Like they went and caught all of them and took them for like a breeding program.
Oh, so they're
like now the ones that are they're re-releasing them. Yeah.
Back.
Thank you. Thanks
in
for
the area close to the area where they were discovered. 50 years ago, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's really definitely 40 because I was 10. But they're all over now. So they've got the Shirley Basin's got population. There's populations in Colorado. There's populations, I think, even further
parts
north.
Of Utah.
Yeah, Utah. There's anywhere there's big, giant prairie dog complexes that aren't necessarily. They're all susceptible to the plague, and that is probably what damaged the ferret population. But they try to put them in areas that don't typically get plagued out, and they were doing a lot of research to try to release them in the grasslands near Douglas. And I was hoping to get out on that release project, and then the whole every prairie dog complex from the grasslands clear, south of Douglas plagued out in 1 year. And so that is completely gone now. That's not even an opportunity.
Wasn't that the year that they, even at the, down in Colorado, they had the big die-off too? Was that? Yeah.
Yep. Same year.
Yeah.
And then, an area where we've all photographed deer. They released ferrets in there.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a great program, but they've never put them back up there. So when Julie got to go out on that project, it was full circle. Just as you said, I could have just left it at that and shut up, but it literally was full circle right back to where they came from. And, not many people know that that's where it happened. And I'm glad that there is now remains a wild population.
Yeah.
So I think there were, I don't remember how many. Do you remember how many individuals? Julia, did they talk about that when they?
I don't remember.
I think
I don't remember. I know we released 9, and that was adding to the already population from previous releases.
But when they first discovered them, I don't remember how many there were. I want to say there
20.
were. I want to say that's what I was.
Yeah.
In the back of my mind, that's what I was thinking. 20 or 21, something like that.
Yeah.
Was the entire population. So every black-footed ferret that's come about now that's been released into wild areas was a result of those 20 individuals and the breeding program that they did. Yeah, it's pretty crazy what can happen when.
Yeah.
So it's cool you've seen a wolverine, you photographed a Wyoming wild black-footed ferret.
It's cool to be a part of that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
for sure.
It was really cool.
Yeah. So what's? Literally,
what's next?
Sky's the limit. Are you gonna backpack with Sasquatch or what?
Yeah. The polar bear trip had always been the top of my list of I've always loved bears and polar bears, and I read these books in elementary school where it was a polar bear, a grizzly bear, and a black bear traveling through Canada together. So
is this a joke?
No, those are books that I read in elementary school.
I'm sorry, just being a smart aleck.
So I'm that makes a lot of sense of what I'm doing now. But going to see the polar bears was that was something I always wanted to do, and so now I don't know. I guess maybe my next trip will be to go see polar bears again. So I don't know. I definitely there's places I want to go Africa and India for tigers would be really cool, and the Pantanal. I mean, the normal.
Pantanal's good.
Yeah.
You'll probably be satisfied with once, but
yeah.
And the pumas in the Andes.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many cool wildlife that I'd love to be able to see and photograph.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, Yellowstone's hard to beat for me.
Mm-hmm.
Still my favorite place to go. It really is. It's hard
my favorite place certain times of the year.
Oh, sure. But
in certain places in the park.
Right.
Like not Old Faithful in July, but the other places are nice.
Or trying to go anywhere on the west side.
Oh yeah.
So what's number one on the list now?
Oh, I don't know. A Yellowstone mountain lion would be cool, and I always joke I have horrible luck with pine martens, and I think they're so cool. And I have a photo, a singular photo of a pine marten, but it's behind grass and brush and stuff. It's it's not anything that I would use. So I'm still chasing a good photo of a pine marten.
You probably need to go with Jason and I.
Do you have good luck?
Well,
we
are going to have good luck in January. Yeah.
We have had good luck.
Yeah, we have. We've gotten lucky.
Yeah.
We saw at about 20, 25 yards, watched a pine marten chase a squirrel around a tree for probably 45 minutes.
Yeah, we got literally bored of photo, and we were doing videos and photos, and it was an incredible experience. Yeah,
that's so cool.
But we were rooting for the pine marten, quite honestly.
Oh, I would be too.
Obviously, for obvious reasons, but it never happened.
He got worked.
Squirrel's lucky day.
Yeah, and the squirrel talked a lot of crap about it too.
Did.
No, I'm sure.
It was hysterical. And then we had the same trip actually. We had another encounter with the pine marten that we knew where he was, and we just had an unfortunate member of our group that took a dive in the middle of the trail, and the pine marten responded to it.
The one pine marten that I have the obstructed photos of was on closing day, not this past closing day, but the year before. Mm-hmm. And my friend Rebecca and I, the night before, were texting, and we're we just want to see a grizzly bear, a great gray owl, and a pine marten. Because we're that'll never happen. And so we go in, and there's a grizzly bear, and then later we're watching a great gray owl, and then the pine marten literally ran under the tree that the great gray was in. And so this last closing day, we're well, we'll take a wolverine and a mountain lion. Which unfortunately did not happen, but I'll still take the pine marten.
Might as well give it a shot.
Yeah, exactly.
Had a good thing going.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to will it into being, and it's funny how many times it actually happens. It's kind of wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought maybe you'd be shooting for the polar bear riding on the back. Oh wait, it's the wolverine riding on the back of the polar bear, riding on the back
snowy
of
owl on the head.
The snowy owl overhead. Yeah. So
the same time you guys were up there, Charles Glatzer goes to a lodge that's a little bit further north along the Hudson. Snowy owls.
Yep.
Every day.
Arctic foxes.
Wolverine.
Oh my
gosh.
Wolverine, close.
Wolves
Wolverine.
too, I think, actually. I think there was some.
I didn't see wolves this time, but I know he's got them in the past, 24 millimeter.
Yeah, right.
Oh my gosh.
Through the fence kind of a thing, yeah.
Wow.
There's a fence around the camp up there is what I'm talking about.
Yeah. No, he was actually laying down on
that's crazy.
A trail, and this wolf just kind of came up real low angle, full frame with a 24 millimeter lens. So
that's wild.
It's different up there for sure.
Yeah,
we did get to see a cross fox, though, a gorgeous cross fox.
Oh my gosh, that was the prettiest fox I've ever seen.
Oh man,
and perfect light too.
Yeah. It was the one day we had really good light, and he came right over to us and posed for us, and
he stood on a rock.
Yeah.
Stood on a rock and posed. That was crazy.
Of course he did.
Yeah. They have him well trained up there.
Yeah. No Arctic fox for you guys?
Mm-mm.
No.
We saw a silver fox, fleeting.
That was going to be my next question.
Didn't get any shots of it, but And we did see a snowy. We saw a snowy 3 different days, and we actually got photos. I actually got a couple of usable photos of one that flew away when we finally were able to kind of get towards where it was. But anyways, that was kind of cool. That was my first snowy owl sighting.
It was my first snowy owl too, and same with Amy. And when I was in one of her classes in high school, like it was one of the eruption years, so there was a snowy owl that had been seen like a couple hours north of us, and she was like, I'm leaving school early to go look for this snowy owl. And like, I mean, it became a joke of like, she's never going to see the snowy owl, because she'd leave and like she'd never see it. And so the first snowy owl that we saw, I like turned around to say something to her, and it like flew right over her head.
Oh,
so I was like, Amy, there's a snowy owl. So that was really cool to like see one and be able to share that moment with her too. It was really cool.
So that was her first too as well.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a nice little surprise. We're watching a bear, and all of a sudden, hey, there's a snowy owl flying right over it. Yeah. Sorry, Ron, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say we had a pair of them just east of Douglas here, about an hour east, and they were there all winter, and I found out about it 3 years after.
Oh.
Game warden's like, oh yeah, we had some snowy owls right over here. I'm like, dude, you're like absolutely killing me right now.
You know my number, like.
Well, he's the one that he gave me a ton of information, but
sure.
Just it doesn't help think that I would be interested in an owl. Like, it's not just an owl. It's a snowy owl in Wyoming, for crying out loud.
Right.
But we haven't had a winter bad enough to push them this far south in so long that. Yeah.
Well, it's looking that way again right now, right? With the northern area not even getting cold enough to freeze that bay and stuff, right? But
yeah,
we'll see. We're supposed to go get some snowies and pine martens and all kinds of good stuff in January, so we'll see if our buddy Mark can produce.
Fingers
no
crossed.
pressure, Mark.
None whatsoever. But if we don't get it,
just saying, could be a sock party. I'm just kidding. Totally kidding.
I'm not necessarily. So, Julie, besides that, personally, I know you've got your trip coming up, but personally, what's the next big one that you're planning for, or that you'd like to see down the road?
I don't know. I mean, I just want to keep being able to travel, and I mean, I love traveling, and I always have. Like I've been to Rome and London, and I love traveling even if it's not for wildlife, but I want to keep being able to go places and experience wildlife, and especially after this trip to Churchill. I mean, that was so cool, and I don't know where's next for the next wildlife trip, but
I started to say this earlier, but you definitely need to go in the fall.
Yeah.
Like September, because the Aurora's a lot better.
Is it?
And the bears on that golden and red tundra.
The color, that'd be really cool.
It's totally different. It's just amazing.
And then even like I was looking at their like the beluga trips up there in Churchill, like in the summer.
That's the other
on the
thing
paddleboards. I'm like, oh my gosh, that looks so cool.
Yeah. So and they had Alex created it was I don't know. You've seen those the breaching great white sharks on video, and they put the seal out and drag it behind the boat. It's a seal decoy, but they do pretty much the same thing. They'll drag like a floaty pad behind the Zodiac, and you can like look off and see the belugas, and you don't really need to. I mean, you go out on the Zodiacs and those things they're curious. They come right up to the boat, come right under the boat, so you can get great footage of them. Last year, Sergius Hannon, he got he took an underwater camera in an attempt to get a split shot, and I don't think he ever really got the split shot. He got some amazing video with the underwater housing right out of the Zodiac, and with the belugas. He was like hanging over the edge, and then occasionally you get a jellyfish that you can film too in the different areas. But right there at the mouth of the Churchill River, where it dumps into the Hudson Bay, that's basically where they all stage. And when Jason and I were there, we had better luck out in the open water, but this last year we had much better luck in the bay. So it's a pretty cool experience.
It's funny you mentioned that, because that all changed when they changed the rule where you could not get in the water with them anymore. And they were talking about that, but actually there was footage playing at the Discovery Center. That's what it's called, right, Julia? The Discovery Center. Anyways,
something like that.
That center over at the old missile range. We should know these facts better when we get on a podcast. Anyways, I should. But they had a video playing, and they were showing a lot of clips of them on the paddle boards and on that floaty that you're talking about, where you could like lay down on the board. And I think it was actually a video it could even have been of Sergius on the board, with this camera off the edge of the board and that, trying to get some footage. But
yeah,
it'd be a neat experience. And I think we didn't really do that the first time, but again, that was the first kind of attempt at a shoulder season type of a trip. And there was plenty of whales around that year. And I think even this last September, there was still quite a few, wasn't there, Ron?
Yeah, there was a ton.
Belugas. Yeah. Yep. So that's a good combination trip to get the bears in the color, the belugas, and the Aurora.
Yeah, you'll have to do September next.
Yeah, might be a good option. But
I think I'm going to go in August. Is going to be next.
You're going to keep pushing it?
I want the polar bear in the fireweed so bad I can just I can taste that shot.
Well, we saw lots of video clips of that for sure.
Oh, I know.
From that. But anyways. We even got to go to the museum this time, which I hadn't gone to before.
Yeah, that was really cool.
The museum was really neat. A lot of artifacts from the local tribes and stuff, and folks that had just incredible stuff.
Well, I think that's the neat thing about going during those shorter days is you have an opportunity to learn more about the culture. I mean, we learned a lot from the guides just driving us around, but to go learn from the First Nations people, the elders of the communities that live there around Churchill, I think those are some of the things that I think would be fantastic additions to an already incredible trip. But we had a lot of bears in town while we were there. There's crackers going off almost every night close to the rooms, and so that is what I anticipated, that everywhere there'd be bears walking around. And we didn't find out that there was a bear right behind our cabin until we saw the video the next day. And we were, outside yucking it up, and there was a bear right in the alley, right behind the cabin. But they said during the wintertime there's a lot more of that happens. But
I finally heard the siren too. After they warned us about the siren that goes off at 10.
Yeah,
and the first couple of days, I'm like, it must not be very loud because I've not heard it.
Thank you, Julia.
So then one night, Amy and I went out and we're like standing on the porch, like in slippers, and we're like, it's 10 o'clock. Where's the siren? And then it was finally the last night. I was like, oh my gosh, there's the siren. So I don't know if the guy that does it was like out of town, but I finally heard it, so I made my trip.
I'm with you. A couple nights it just didn't go off, I'm telling you, because I was listening for it.
It's dark at 3:30. You guys are probably asleep by 10 every night.
I wasn't. I'm Mr. Night Owl, but still.
Yeah, me too.
I can't get to bed that early, so.
Well, guys, we've been at it an hour. And Julia, I think probably we need to do a in the field one up around the North Fork or sometime when we're in Yellowstone.
I'd love to.
Go just do a day trip or something and do an in the field podcast. That would be great.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Amy up there too at the same time.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
You guys could tell high school stories. Well, she could tell high school stories on you.
You're right.
But thank you for sticking with us and taking the time to come on. And
thanks for having me.
Again, we'll need to do this again some point. And it's been incredible to watch not only your skills just kind of blow up and see your work in Wyoming wildlife in addition to on Instagram, but also to run into you in the field once in a while. And
it's always fun.
See what it could have been like to be young and have time to go work this like you should.
Yeah, that means a lot.
Where can people find your information at? What's your Instagram? Do you have a website for the tours?
My Instagram is Julia Cook Wildlife, and that's the same as my website. And on my website, it's linked to the Skyline Safari site for booking information and all that.
Perfect.
So, yeah.
Awesome. That was fun to get to know you guys better up in Churchill. It's funny when you.
It's fun walking up in the airport.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, there's people I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
Well, I had no idea Don was the other, tour leader on the other, the group. I was just like, I had no idea. Anyways, and then I saw on the text the day of, and it's like, Dawn Wilson, what? She's, and then there she is, like, oh, hey.
Yeah, and then I'd met Darren, who was in my group. Like, I'd met him in the Tetons a couple years ago, and yeah, it was fun.
That's too funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good group overall. Really, a lot of cool.
Yeah.
It was so great.
Yeah.
Anyways. Until the next time.
Exactly.
And that's a wrap for another episode of Beyond the Wild podcast. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Pictureline.com, your online source for everything photography, and Canon USA.